Welcome, teacher. We are going to talk about the impacts of tourism in Los Cabos, Baja California Sur. First, Los Cabos is a municipality located in the southern tip of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula in the state of Baja California Sur. It encompasses the two towns of Cabo San Lucas and San Jose del Cabo. Los Cabos offers a unique mixture of desert landscapes, beaches, and mountainous zones to be explored. So Los Cabos represents a very large scale mass tourism, and as a result of this, Los Cabos has fallen victim of the unsustainable issues that result from this type of tourism. Okay, about natural resources. Baja California Sur as a state has the first place in extension of shorelines with a total of 2,131 kilometers, and it represents the 29.2% of the country's coast. The climate of the state is mostly dry with an average temperature of 18 to 22 degrees.
My name is Christian and I'm going to start talking about general information. First, we have population, which is 287,671. Then we have language, which is Spanish, but people who work in the tourist industry may talk some English. We also have currency, which is Mexican pesos, but in some places you may be able to use US dollars. And culture, which is like a combination of the tourist culture with the main culture there in Los Cabos. And for the past few years it has become like a combination. And that would be all for general information.
So Baja California Sur has a total of 182 natural protected areas, which are biosphere reserves represents 24.7%. Flora and fauna represents the 22%. National parks represents 36.7%. Sanctuaries represents 9.9%. Natural resources represents 4.4%, and natural monuments represents 2.7%.
About touristic development, we have that Los Cabos has a total of 173 hotels and 20,816 rooms. They have 18 golf courses, 86 restaurants, and 640 spaces distributed into all the marinas there.
Now I'm going to talk about socio-cultural impacts. First, we have commodification of culture, which is interest in culture, in social practices, and also traditions. Then we have community participation, which is really good because it generates jobs and makes the community like part of the tourist. Now I'm going to talk about negative impacts. One of them is impact in traditional value systems, like negatively, because it makes the culture lose its value, and tourists start taking part of the culture, not like seriously, but as just part of the attraction. Then we have acculturation, which is the community from Los Cabos taking culture from the tourists and losing their own culture.
Okay, about environmental impacts, we're going to start by the positive ones. The only one I could find was that according to the research, they started implementing the EIA, which is the Environmental Impact Assessment. This is an instrument of environmental policy, and its objective is to prevent, mitigate, and restore environmental damage. Okay, and now the negative impacts. Los Cabos has become the touristic destination with the most environmental impact in Mexico. This means that when it started as a touristic destination, the constructions weren't aware of the damage it could cause in the environment, so they started to build the the hotels, establishments without any EIAs as we know them today. So the impact that it has nowadays in the environment, it's the worst in Mexico as a tourist destination. Next, the groundwater layer, it's being compromised by the lack of environmental management plans. This means that there is no rules or no plans, like no laws that establish what is going to happen with solid waste, with the discharges of the hotels and establishments that are the closest to the sea. So this has an impact not only in the ocean but also in the groundwater layer, which is where the water is extracted from the underground and it's being sent to the population. This means that the population has a low quality water. Okay, politicians and entrepreneurs give zero importance to the EIAs before developing tourist resorts and projects. There is a lot of corruption. So if you have money, this means that you won't have to worry about the EIAs, and basically you don't care about what's going to happen with the environment as long as you receive your money and as long as you can build whatever you want for your own interests. Then the degradation of the quantity and quality of the natural resources available. This is what I was mentioning earlier. As an example, the water. The water, it's really low quality, and the water that exists, it's being sent to the hotels and touristic establishments. So in the urban zone of Los Cabos, people is running out of water. People don't have water. If they have it, it's very low quality water, and that's an issue that it's common in Los Cabos.
Tourism in Los Cabos is very important. We can divide the impacts on positive and negative. For positive impacts, we have that in 2017, tourism generated around 41,000 jobs and also $14 million. And 40% of the local economy depends on tourism related activities. Also, in 2017, the touristic infrastructure grew around 2.8%. And in this year, they expect a 370 million pesos investment for their infrastructure to get better. But not everything is good. They also have some issues when talking about economic impacts, and some of these are that the big hotels usually exclude local people from the natural attractions, because when they build hotels, they usually build them in front of the beach, blocking the access to local people. And also, the jobs that tourism generates uh, are usually low paid jobs. And besides this, when occupations are low, they start letting people go, firing them, leaving the locals in an unstable situation, unstable economy. Because when they are 80% of occupation, 90%, even 100%, well, everyone's looking for people to work. But when occupations are low, they fire people. So they are not stable jobs. And yeah, all inclusive resorts are very popular for tourists, but at least for the destination, it usually keeps the profits into the companies, and well, the destination doesn't get a lot of money from it. And well, besides this, we have that Los Cabos. It's recognized around the world as a luxury destination. You can see here the base rates from the hotels, and you can see that it's a very high rate. And not everyone can pay for it. Not everyone can go there and spend 1, 2, 3 nights because it's expensive for most people. But from to those who go to Los Cabos are usually people uh, with a high level, high economy. So this is a good reason to see Los Cabos as an important touristic destination for Mexico.
Los Cabos. Okay, and to finish, we wanted to say that Los Cabos, in spite of being a beautiful place and a place that offers a lot of things, not only to the tourists but also the Mexican people, it has become a place where the word sustainable it's not being considered at all. And in the future it will have consequences, so we need to act now, we need to be aware, and we need to take action with what we are doing to save this beautiful place. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in class.